Hello and welcome back to Tremors in Review. I can't believe we're doing this. We're actually made it to the third video. We're doing this live. I can't believe this joke has gone on as long as it has. And I want to thank everyone so much who actually watched our video, spent time commenting, sharing it with people, sharing it within the community of Tremor fans. This has been a wild ride. But of course, let me start by introducing our wonderful panel of guests, the Graboids, as we've been the boys, original crew here. You know him as the my Tinder profile. Cristian, what's up, baby? What's going on?
Let's blast some Graboid ass. Are you ready?
Yes, I am. Oh, so good, everybody. I'm so happy about this. Yes. So how you been? How's things going? So we recorded those sort of like in a vacuum where no one knew about the what we were doing, and now it's out. And how do you feel about the response? And how do you feel about your experience with Tremor so far?
Let me just say real quick, seeing the response to the first podcast was absolutely insane. Those numbers kept going up and up on the YouTube video, and then people were commenting. I'm like, what is going on? It turns out there's a huge a community of Tremors fans that are absolutely in love with these movies and want to talk about them and hear people talk about them. It kind of rocks.
No, it's awesome, and the fact we have some wonderful internet friends that got us through that as well, and we'll get to that in just a second. But let me follow up with you know him as your former coffee maker / now alcoholic beverage maker man. He's on a can of beer. Michael Ruiz, how you doing?
Look, oh my God, I'm all faded and shit. Why am I so faded? I'm faded, baby. Yeah, it wouldn't be me if I didn't have a beer with me right now.
There you go.
I'm having a good time. I just watched Tremors 3 today, and I'm very excited to talk about ass blasters. I'm very excited for the podcast within a podcast to discuss their ranking.
That's right.
I'm ready to go. Let's go do this. Let's do this, maybe.
Absolutely. Of course, the one person missing this week, because Jose Ruckus himself, you know him as the man without a team, Brandon. He sadly got attacked by a snake, and that snake obviously ate him up, or a worm. And he said he was going to leave me notes about what he thought about this movie. You know what? He never did, because they swallowed him up. He's just now Graboid food. But he will be missed as the other resident Tremor fan. But yeah, again, we love you, Brandon, and recover from your snake attack, whatever of course happened to you. So, rounding out the cast today, though, is someone who's actually been a fan of the show before it even existed as a thing, has left me copious of notes, and is a massive Tremor fan as well, who has done some behind the scenes work. Of course, yep, look, there it is. Oh my God, I want that attack pack one. Oh my God, that book though. Oh God, he has Levi. How you doing, Levi? What's going on?
What's up, Cristian?
Oh,
I got Tremors from all the tape.
That's awesome. So yes, you reached out to me. I believe I originally got introduced to you via the Tremors Saga Twitter handle. They said, reach out to this person. This person's amazing. They are basically in charge of all the knowledge that you could ever ask for Tremors. And so I did. How's it going?
Well, that's good. Like I said, I'm just excited. I'm absolutely chuffed to be here. I hate this. No, I do. I really want to convince you it's not bad. That's my main goal here. I want to try to love it with you. So let's do this.
That's good. So far the vibes are pretty high, so I'm very, very happy about that. But of course,
we're gonna have a mother humping good time.
We're gonna have a mother humping good time. It's gonna be fantastic. Which, of course, this week we are talking about Tremors 3: Back to Perfection, which, thank God, I wanted to be back in this wonderful town. I realized something, and this is no goddamn brainer. I apparently love movie series about a small town. Okay, I am a massive fan of Twin Peaks.
I knew it. I knew you were going there.
I'm wearing the shirt. All right,
Hell yeah.
wearing the Twin Peaks shirt. I'm a massive fan of the Goonies, which takes a place in Astoria, Washington.
Astoria.
Yeah, Hawkins, Indiana, or Illinois, I think it is, or in Stranger Things. Like that's a no-brainer. But
Small girls.
Haddonfield, Halloween.
Haddonfield, Halloween, like just small towns that have to deal with some great consequences. And this is no different. So I'm so happy that we are back in the third sequel of Tremors 3 Back to Perfection, which was released in October 1st of 2001. Another straight to DVD release. It is, of course, 104 minutes. It is directed by Brett Maddock, who, if I'm not mistaken, was producer of the last ones. Am I correct? Writers? Levi, you're the
Writer, the last two.
writer producer. Of course. Written by John Welpley, if I'm not mistaken here, and it's still produced by S.S. Wilson, Nancy Roberts, and oh boy, I'm so excited to talk about this one, primarily because it is now the start of the new era for Tremors. This is Burt Gummer's show now. No more of these Val and Earl like yahoos. We're all about the star of the show, which of course is Burt Gummer.
Record. Like
Yes.
we just missed Burt Gummer Day. We were talking about this before we
Yes.
went live. We have to celebrate Burt Gummer.
Yes,
Burt Gummer Day, April 14th, every year.
every year.
So, amen, Burt Gummer.
Shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
And give them your gifts. You got to celebrate Burt Gummer Day in style.
That's right. Everyone, go buy your bullets on Burt Gummer Day.
No.
I'm kidding. Buy Atlanta Hawk hats on Burt Gummer Day. Or, no. I was going to say something else. No, just buy those hats. But yeah, or glasses. You also get glasses as well. But yes, like I said, we're doing the direct-to-video horror film. I'm going to actually go ahead. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Thank you, Levi. You know exactly what to be dressed. The only glasses I have on hand are my X-Men glasses from MC University. That's all I got on hand.
Oh, they're so cool.
They're cool. They hurt my eyes. So perfect. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to go round off and basically tell us what we thought about this movie. So first things first, you know what, Mike, I want to know, you seem like the most energetic about this. I really want to know, what are your thoughts on Tremors 3 Back to Perfection?
So I think when we first started this, I think it was perfectly stated that, Tremors 1 is a great movie. It's great. I actually really enjoy it. I think it's a really great movie. And it's like a steady decline down, like a really steady decline down, but it's never like, it's never like terrible or whatever. It's never like, I don't remember how it was said, but like it's
Diminishing returns, sort of like.
It's like it's always expected for what it's supposed to be. It's like it's just like really steady decline. It's never like, it just dips all the way down. It's like terrible at like number 3. It's very just steady, and so you kind of just end up getting used to the goofiness of Tremors and like the goofiness of Gummer and all that stuff. And I really. It's just Tremors 3 is really goofy, and I think it finally embraces its goofiness, especially with the name of the new graboid named the Ass Blaster. Like straight up, on a real level, like I was kind of watching this, and I'm a millennial. I look at my phone sometimes when I watch a movie or whatever.
What does that mean, man?
Okay. All right.
So and then I heard Ass Blaster at the. I'm like, I have to get off my phone real quick. Did they just call these things Ass Blasters real quick? What happened? And then that's when I started to pay attention to the film. And then this movie, I enjoyed it. It is very much embracing the goofiness that Tremors 1 and 2 necessarily wasn't going for, but also ended up, making, and why people end up liking Tremors. I think it's fun. I think it's just a fun film that if you like the first 2, I think number 3 isn't really all that bad. I think it's a fun time to watch.
Fantastic. Levi, I saw you interjecting a few things. Do you want to go ahead and say it? Because your mic cut out when you said it.
I was just happy to I agree, man. Ass blasters. It catches you. Oh, what the fuck? It's
Well, yeah,
Okay.
it's like, you know, they call the first ones are called graboids, whatever. That's kind of goofy, but you know, I get it.
Yeah.
And then the next ones are called shriekers. You're like, okay, that's not really all that weird. Like, I get it. They're shrieking. It makes sense. The next one, I mean, it makes sense because they're like literally like farting and then flying. I'm like, what is? I'm like, what? And then they call them ass blasters. I'm like, what is happening? And then. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense why they're called that, but at the same time, it's not as tame as the other two names.
Sure. Yeah.
So, I guess.
Graboids is grab because they have the tentacles, they grab you and they pull you in, right? Okay, that makes sense.
Exactly,
Shriekers,
yeah.
they make the sound, so that makes sense. Ass blasters is just not what you think. Like combustion fighters, like you want to like give it a different name, but that's.
But well, that's the thing is like, what else would you call them?
what?
That's fair. Well, I
fair.
actually did have a name for them for a second because I thought they looked like a velociraptor at first. I was like, "What are they, raptoroids?" And then
It's funny you
very
say
quickly,
that.
I was, oh, ass blasters. That's what we're going with.
Yeah. Speaking
You
of,
gotta have the. It's important. Like that's a
Mm.
real like central part. Like, and to have that ass flat, like that double alliteration there, really sells the hell out of that name. Like, oh, okay.
yes.
I dig it.
Nerdaday in the chat says, "All hail the ass blaster." Thank you so much, Nerdaday. Of course, Cristian, what do you think about going back to perfection?
Actually, I was the complete opposite of you, dude, to be honest. Like, when we're in El Chaco, Argentina, I'm like, the vibes here are absolutely incredible. It is, like, ominous.
Yeah.
Like, they're, like, it's almost, like, super, like, it's, like, infringing on the, like, horror kind of element more so than the other two. And I'm like, this rocks. Like, they're elevating it. I'm tense right now. The journalists who are interviewing Burt are, like, afraid. This dude's getting in a giant, like,
Like a
gun and just,
Gatling
like,
gun.
shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And I'm like, oh, so they still have that level of campiness, but it's like horror first, and then like that is like ripped away when we're back in Perfection, Nevada, and I'm like, oh no, we're just like, it's the opposite of what I wanted.
This has probably the worst soundtrack of the
Oh
movie so
my
far.
God.
I love it. By the seventh time you hear it, I'm like,
Dude.
fuck it.
It sounds like a bad Tekken 2 soundtrack. It's so bad, dude.
You guys hate it. That is like miles better than what this is like noises in the background.
Yeah, of course. I said bad things about it, but I ended up loving it by the end of the movie because I was just so into how ridiculous it was. By the way, we're going to talk a little bit about the TV show because this is a movie. This movie is a direct connection to the TV show. There's a graboid that were introduced into this movie called El Blanco or El Gringo Blanco.
Yeah.
Which continues, hello, Senor Blanco, which continues into the show. But the way that they bring up the character of El Blanco is they just have like swing drums that they just play. Everything's like, like, oh, it's El Blanco is in town. Like, it's so funny. I wanted that in the movie when we didn't get it. I was like, God damn it.
That music TV show is so good.
It's so silly the first time you hear it, but then you just get used to it. It's like, that's the character. I don't know what you're talking about. Cristian, what were your thoughts on the rest of the connect, like the sort of third, the trilogy, the capper of the first three movies?
No, I mean, I don't want to call it a trilogy because it ends for me on a kind of a sour note, to be honest. Like
Sure.
even though I think Tremors 2,
Of course.
of
course.
Even though I think Tremors 2 isn't as good as Tremors 1, I still found the fun in Tremors 2, and like even
Definitely.
talking about it like was so much fun. I never found the fun in Tremors 3.
Oh, I see.
And like that hurt me. But there is still like some elements that I really liked, which we'll get into, that I like the whole El Blanco thing I thought was very cool.
Yeah.
And I'll have more thoughts on that later. But yeah, I never quite found the fun. Yeah. It is funny seeing the ass blasters jiggle around though before they blast off.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think it is pretty fun to have that. I think with the elements that I am happy about this one is how much it is connected to the first one and brings back certain people. That's the part that I think I enjoy the most, and I'll get to that in just a second. But Levi, what are your general thoughts on Back to Perfection?
that small town thing that you were talking about is what I love about the movie. Is there's some great scenes with just the characters just talking and stuff. And the thing that I am so sad about this movie, if this was like a 2.5 hour like Godfather level of like serious drama about these like, and I meant like let's do some dialogue and some straight up acting here, I would watch that. Like that's I get teased of some things in it, and I'm just like, oh man, okay. I guess we can go like fight the monsters. That's cool. But then when you get to actually fighting the monsters, you're only like, okay. It's kind of lackluster. The monsters are like the most like, because I come from Tremors 2, Shriekers, and then Tremors 1, Graboids. Those are like completely distinct, and to not even really have them feature in 3 is always sad for me.
Yeah.
The Ass Blaster, as much as I love the name, the physical body of it is not a threat to me. I'm always trying to figure out how to actually make an Ass Blaster scary, because Rosalita does it in the show. Just kick it in the fucking face, like it's just like it's new to you, you know. And then even more so when it eats stuff, it fucking goes into a coma.
Yeah.
It's like the antithesis of like all the other things that you saw before. It's like, oh, if you just actually just give them food.
Yeah.
You know, because that's something that we talked about in the last episode was like, I said that they were basically like gremlins, basically.
Yes.
Like, don't feed them after, like they become a threat if you feed them.
Yes.
And now they just actually take that whole threat away from it. Like, yeah, just give them food. Just give them food and they're done. You could capture them. You could do your little scientific studies for the Smithsonian or whatever. Yeah. You could sell them the stick. Yeah, you could do all that stuff. Easy money.
Yeah.
You know? So, I don't know.
And it doesn't take that much food either.
No.
Right? Like, it was just like a ham.
They give a ham. A ham is probably like what? Like $10? Come on.
Yeah.
No, I fully agree with everybody. I think there's elements of this thing that I'd love. There's things that I think that are still stupid. I mean, you never see the ass blasters kill anybody in a like terrifying like eating way. For instance, there was the character, I think his name was it Hector, that dies. Like he's in the window
Miguel?
and he gets his Miguel.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I just when he gets like eaten in the window and it's terrifying, right? Because you see like he's chomping on his legs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh,
it's wild.
Yeah, you're like the mechanics of it's in your head. You're like you understand it. It's really gross. You see like the arms, like holy crap. They never bite anything in this movie. They just like you see a guy who's like covered in oh my god, he sprayed himself with like a fire extinguisher, but you just see red in the back. That's all you see.
In fact, they actually the only thing they show is a graboid actually eating the shit out of an ass blaster. Like that's like they don't really show it like an ass blaster actually doing anything. Really, all the graboids are the ones that are really doing the killing. In this movie. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's like I said, there are things in this that I do love. Like I said, the returning characters, right? So we have Burt Gummer. He's back. He's full force, right? He's the star of the show. He is the best element. He's at full top level Burt Gummer. Every line delivery, all the little ad libs adds to the lore of Burt Gummer. He is like on like every person he interacts with, even the FBI agents, like all of that. That to me is like eminent domain. I love it so much. But the returning characters, just to have them back, I think just adds a little bit more to this movie. Like Miguel, the fact that Miguel comes back for that small stint of time. Now, what happens to Miguel pisses me off. Just dramatic, especially how stupid these fucking ass blasters are. But at the same time, you know, I do, that hurts. The Mindy and Nancy relationship, like they have the actual actors come back from all the way 11 years. By the way, they say 11 years like fucking so many times in this movie. God, we haven't seen these in 11 years. To have those actors back, especially Ariana Richards, who, of course, like I said last time, she was in Jurassic Park. She's in Jurassic Park and Lost World. To have her come back then later in this one, which was a lot of fun. Yeah. Oh, and of course, the greatest cameo ever. Melvin is back.
Dude, I don't remember Melvin. With Tremors 1?
Way to go, dude. He's the kid that
I
throws
knew it. Yeah. I knew it. Still incredibly like a douchebag.
Yeah, the big dickhead
Big
from
dickhead.
1
Yeah.
is the big dickhead in 3.
Yes.
Turns out.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Asswad, or what was it from Tremors 1?
Oh my God. Asswad? Yes.
Dickweed or
Dickweed.
something-
Yeah.
yeah, something weird,
Asswad,
yeah.
Dickweed. Oh, God. Levi, is there any fun facts you want to talk about the making of this movie or any these? I know you have a whole lot of notes.
I was just gonna do it as we went along. Honestly, the one you said that Miguel dying, I'm always sad that like they killed off Tony Gennaro, and he even talks about Stampede says, "Oh, if they had known they were getting more, they wouldn't have even." Like they're always like, "Oh, well, shit, man. Like we didn't know we were getting more movies after this, and they fucking killed." They were actually trying to figure out a way to write him into the second season. Like, what if he just like he plays a different character? You know, he comes back just to like reuse the actor because they were just like.
That would be so good.
So let me talk a little spoilers about the TV show. So yeah, Miguel dies in Back to Perfection. However, I believe it's his niece. Inherits his ranch and works there, and she's the white T-shirt. But by the way, off screen.
Oh my God.
Off screen, we've been talking about. There's a scene about she wears a white T-shirt. It's bad. I won't bring up much about it, but she's yeah. She is that character, and so she takes basically the role of Miguel in a lot of ways. Add some other elements. She was a showgirl in Vegas. Some story stuff like that. But yeah, that is the continuation of that character's storyline is through his niece.
Why didn't they just do like a thing where like they're like, oh, he had a twin brother, and then just bring him back?
They might put shit like they were like, why the fuck not? Like, fuck it, man.
Fucking bring him
Like
back.
they could just totally do that,
Yeah.
and it would totally be fine. No one would question it.
No, because that was my brother Miguel. I am Mario. You know, like,
yeah.
easily gone through
Give
that.
Miguel. They don't give Miguel a last name.
They don't. I don't
San-
think.
It's Sanchez.
Is this
Tyler's
Sanchez?
last such a generic Mexican.
Yeah, pretty much.
IMDb got to fix it then.
Miguel Sanchez, great.
Let's see. I'm looking at. Let's see here. Yeah, just he's as the cast list here. It just says Miguel on the Wikipedia, but I think maybe they added that for the TV show. Maybe that's possible. I don't know. We'll
Gotcha.
Sanchez, so I always assume that's the name.
see. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But the other new legacy character that is brought into this is actually Jody. Jody is now added to the story. Yeah.
She's one of my to this. I do have to say, I love Jody.
Jody's the thing is a fun continuation. Look at these balls. Yay, Frank. How you doing, Frank? Is an awesome continuation of a character that was very much similar in Walter, but obviously way more modern at the time in terms of someone who's very much like a business focused person. And I love that about her. And I love how she keeps tabs on Jack's like ongoing like free stuff he keeps trying to take, or like him buying at the Whole Foods or whatever. Like I thought that was a lot of fun by their interaction.
Relationship. No, paper, asshole.
Yes, exactly. All right. Well, I think that generally sums up our thoughts about the movie. So let's go ahead and go through the plot. So normally there'll be a plot song. Did we do a plot song in the last two? I don't remember.
We kept saying we would, and then we never did it.
We never
did
did it.
it.
Do you want to make it? Here's Levi. Go for it. Make a plot song.
Burton coming through for the Shrieker attack.
There we go. There. Oh yeah, that's right. That is right. And of course, we are opening up this story. We are in Argentina, and it is nighttime. And we have, I believe, the first thing we see are these local news reporters, which of course is this lady. And they go up to a truck, I think that pulls in, if I'm not mistaken. And out comes, of course, Burt Gummer in like this awesome like white camo, like with the beret and everything, just being confident as hell, trying to speak some Spanish, but
Dude.
mostly in English.
Before even that, there's like these shots of like the pastoral landscape with the SUVs riding in.
Yeah.
And like they're silhouetted with like, just like the landscape, which takes up like 2/3 of the screen, and it's one of the most beautiful shots you'll ever see in a Tremors movie. And they don't do any more of that ever again. It's like,
No.
just let the vibe stick over a little bit longer. It rocks so hard. Oh my god,
It does. It 100% does. Of course, Burt is just he's in his Duffy. He is going in and he's just talking about everything he knows about these little shriekers. Of course, there was another worm. This is the third iteration of these attacks in 11 years, where the worm had now become into the shrieker form, which got into a truck of chickens, if I'm not mistaken. Just a lot of chickens. And that, of course, starts this little shrieker army. But what does Burt do? Does he have, his giant ass scorpion guns or anything like that? No, he has a like full on like anti-air tank thing that he like climbs into, something like straight out of World War II, which I
Arrow 52 mounted anti-aircraft weapon. I had to make sure to write that down. He's so specific.
Thank you. And of course, he is absolutely having the time of his life. He puts on the invisible gun. What? Yep.
Where do you think Burt gets the money to buy ammo like this? Because that is not
the government
cheap.
Yeah.
So this is partly spoilers or whatever, but his grandpa owned a silver mine at one point. And it is suggested in the TV show that Burt actually has an inheritance from this silver mine, which he ends up losing because he blows up his house, which it was all silver bars, and they get disseminated over a 50 square area. And so he loses his money. But then I always remember from the end of Tremors 2, like he got paid, and he put all of his into doing shit for perfection and staving off grab.
That's right. That's right. And also, if I'm not mistaken, the government was supplying a lot of this. Now, that's awesome. So might as well use the unlimited resources that you do have. And, that was in Mexico. I don't know about Argentina, but I assume similar consequences, right?
Like the government asked him, like when the government people, at the request of 2 foreign governments, like they asked him to come there. So
Got it. So that makes sense why he would have this anti-air gun.
Like buy that and bring it into another country that has to be kind of refined.
I would love it. He was like, in Mexico, I just brought that over to Argentina. That would be hilarious. Of course,
at his bunker somewhere. He's got it in the back.
If it didn't blow up by the end of this movie. Yeah, of course. So Burt goes and just destroys, just absolutely demolishes all of these shriekers. In one of the time hasn't been kind to the CGI. And again, this is a straight to DVD stuff. It is what it is. It's not very bloody. But at the same time, good on them to try and illustrate him blowing up all of these creatures. And there was a lot of them, so it's cool that they had that at the very least. Does this movie have questionable CGI? Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that very shortly. Does it have some good practical stuff? Yes. There's actually a good practical stunt later that I'm very excited to talk about. But of course, now I think we hear this wonderful music cue.
No,
that is probably from a Tekken game. We get the title screen. By the way, we get the title screen is actually the first thing we see, which is Tremors 3 Back to Perfection as like that really funky 3. But now, we're going back to perfection, everybody. It is 11 years later since the original Tremors attack. The population is no longer, I think, 14, I think is what it said originally. It is now just says 4.
Which sad, dude.
Yes. You either gotten eaten or moved away. It's one of the two, which is, admirable in some aspects. Of course, Gummer arrives, and there's some different changes going on in Perfection, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, Jody is now running the Chang's store. So, of course, very lovely Jody. Wonderful character, wonderful introduction, I think, to this character. Especially the way that she talks to Burt, and there's already seeming that relationship. So she's been there for a while.
Oh.
Yeah, Burt, welcome home. Yeah, wonderful. We also, I believe, this is when we're introduced to Nancy. Nancy's back. Nancy, of course, is still here in Perfection. She's taking care of her daughter, who lovely Mindy is still there, played by, again, the returning actresses. Mindy has a job in Bixby, which I'm very happy that we got another reference to Bixby.
Bixby, place that was like on the opposite side of the hill, if I remember right. Where Where Val's trying to move to.
Yeah,
Val
they're-
and Earl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're trying to take off and go over there. But we never see Bixby in the first movie. It's not mentioned in the second one. So this is the return for Bixby as sort of this alternative place, which do you end up seeing it in the show for one episode? Yes, you do. So that's cool.
Yeah, shrimp
It's real
episode.
then.
There's a
Bixby.
there is a shrimp episode. Bixby, thank you, Nerd Day. So with that, we also learned that some people have moved in. Of course, there is the new Ranchettes, which is being owned by some mysterious person who's trying to buy up the land and parcel it out to little family homes. And Burt don't like that. Burt wants to protect the town itself. Likes it the way it is, doesn't need no insiders. Not only that, we also now have the introduction to Desert Jack himself. I want to call him Cactus. I'm probably going to start calling him Cactus Jack. But Desert Jack, Desert Jack Sawyer, who is this sort of like young gun, entrepreneurial, like slicker who's just basically trying to pull one on the locals that come visit the town because this is the town where the graboids have attacked. And so he basically is he's like one of the guys that put you on these like little tours, right? You get on the back of his car and he puts on a show for you. He tries to have you get through. He basically does the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland. Like you're in a little car and then like shit's going off behind you and you're supposed to be scared. Like that's literally
It's
what
like
he
the
does.
Universal tour.
Yes, like the Universal
Yeah.
tour, 100%. That's exactly.
They should totally do this. I'm always like, this should just be a ride. Like I would go do it. Like this is.
It is
fucking do it, Universal.
Right?
Yes, it is Universal.
Yeah.
Get rid of that stupid shark and put a graboid in the ground, okay? That's what I'm saying. You're absolutely right, Christian.
Real quick, by the way, too, like
Yes.
last episode, we were asking about theme parks, and you did your best to. I think by the end of the
Yes.
episode, you straight up said there is an actual theme park.
Yes.
And then lo and behold, Tremors 3, here we go. The
Yes.
Graboid Safari.
The Graboid Safari. There's that theme park, but then also Earl and Grady did actually have their own theme park, which is a line in this movie. So they actually made a theme park. So there you go.
Jeez.
We did. Do we ever see it?
Brady and Earl's Monster World.
That's right. Monster World actually became a real thing. We just never see it, sadly. But that is true. And with that, we also meet Jack's coworker. I don't know who he is. Buford, who is a bit of a perv. He's peeping on Mindy. And I love this interaction with Sawyer or Desert Jack or Cactus Jack. Basically calling him out on it. And, Mindy has a little crush on Desert Jack. She also does his pants. He puts tape on his pants. This becomes relevant later. So I want to make sure I say it now.
Yeah.
I want to say now. And this sort of shows up our scene with Desert Jack, which, like I said, he crowds a bunch of locals. Buford is like pulling strings and he's like shooting off like extinguishers, and they're having a good old time. He's trying to sell commemorative glasses, glow in the dark glasses and drinks. Christian, you got something?
I want to get.
It glows in the dark, man.
They do glow in the dark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We all know like this is the gig as an entertainer. Like this is the gig. Like when you go to like a magic show, we know that magic isn't real, right? So should an entertainer be? But this feels like a con, right? Like
It's
this feels like
100% a
almost
con.
like too much, right?
100% is like stick with Cactus. Damn, stick with Jack and gonna make it back. He says that every time.
Yeah.
It becomes his little
Damn, it's
catchphrase.
hot out here.
Damn, it's hot out here. Would like a coastal glass of beer. Like that's literally like he says it like several times.
Domestic are important.
Yeah, you're in the heart of it. Saying shit like that, which are the cues for Buford to pull on the ruse. And so we see this, and it is what it is, right? I'm trying to see what's the next thing here.
Yeah, we went
I think
to.
This is when like the government agents show up.
No.
No.
The crime.
Graboid told
Got it. So this is the first tour because you see the tour twice.
Yeah.
So then you were like,
Yeah.
this is how the tour is normally supposed to go, and this is when the tour goes bad. I think basically in between scenes, there's another afternoon that happens, and Mindy decides to join in on the activities just by hanging out with Buford. Buford just being an absolute creepo. They have actually, before we do that, Burt meets Sawyer, and he tries to like, hey, you want to do some autographs? do some autographs on the tour. Make sure we do that, right?
Yeah.
This is also
Thank
we're
you,
gonna.
Mr. Goober.
Yeah, thank you. So
That's his sister.
that's his sister. That's his real life
That's
sister.
Mary Gross.
That's Mary Gross. That's his actual sister. So she got cast as this actress lady to basically make fun of her brother, which is really funny. That other actor, I've seen him in 1,000 things where he's like, "Look, Ma, take a picture of me in front of the Tremor."
Yeah, he's a sci-fi nerd.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
This part made me laugh because when we first did the podcast, I think I called him a tremor.
They're calling
It was
graboids.
part of my notes.
And I mean, obviously now I know, but like I thought that was really goofy because like obviously like that's what I feel like most people probably called him at the end of the day.
Yes. No, 100%.
Yeah, I thought it was a goofy meta joke. I thought.
Yeah.
The original name for the script was Beneath Perfection for the first one, but Universal was like, "Oh, earthquakes sell better in Japan, and we're being sold to a Japanese company, so let's call it Tremors." It's the dumbest fucking idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think there was actually a earthquake that happened in Japan. Was that it?
Yeah.
And they're like, let's call it Tremors. I'm like, oh God, okay.
Okay, I guess.
Oh my God.
I guess. Okay, great. I still love the name, but having that be its origin kind of fucked up. But Beneath Perfection would have been awesome. Personally, I think Beneath Perfection is a great title.
Like I said, they wrote that script for like 6 to 7 years. So you're like, oh, the Beneath Perfection title is legit writers trying to do something, and
that's like your indie movie. That would be A24. It would be called Beneath Perfection. Like that's 100%
exactly
the movie. Yeah. So,
But would it spell as good as Tremors? That's always my I get it, but like Tremors that just works as a title. I don't know what it really does. Like it shouldn't, but
it should. What it does. That is true. And you know it works. This really crazy ride of this tour. It's until it doesn't, because Buford, who's doing a really creepy job trying to pick up on Mindy, very gross.
I'm pretty sure he was gonna rape her. I don't know.
Yeah. I was getting some weird vibes with the knife part, and I was like, is this man about to cut somebody? I'm
really uncomfortable when I read the way he talks. It's the way he talks, and it's not because of his accent. It's just something the way he says words. Like you're just a little uncomfortable. Yeah, and and we like Mindy for the most part. We don't really know her, but still we know her as a classic character, and we don't want no harm from them. So
Exactly.
I actually just saw Steve Wilson answer this as a question on the Stampede Entertainment site on like April 12th. Where someone was like, "Why is Buford all like rapey and shit?" And he's like, "Oh, we weren't really going for that, but we could totally see how that happened now later." We're like, "Oh, man, we were trying to make him unlikable, and it just swung that needle too far the other direction." Like, oh yeah,
yeah. It's just the way he says. It's the way he says words. That literally is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot. There was like a line he said, something about. I had something to do with
like the way he talked to men or talked to something. Like he says something.
Yeah,
really
he said it was like right before he died or whatever like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy.
you have no feelings. A man like me could take offense to that.
Yeah, a man like me could take offense
Yes.
to that. Yes, that is it.
Oh yeah.
That was the line. I was like, what?
Oh, what am I supposed to say to that? Like,
That's the shower talk. It's not.
Yeah.
that's like you probably came out of jail and this is your only job, clearly.
Yeah.
So he starts throwing down knife because he's bored and blue balled. And so that, of course, shows us our first graboid. Graboid comes up and just straight on just takes Buford down, pulls him down. Mindy freaks the fuck out, but doesn't say a word, doesn't scream or anything. The crowd, people can hear it. They're also wondering what's going on. And then for one of the coolest shots in this movie specifically is the graboid bursting through the ground. It's one of the more practical shots, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Buford getting just chomped up. Beautiful sight. Whenever that happens in the movies, freaking awesome.
Some would call this the best attack in the whole movie.
Some would say. Some would say. Yeah. If we were ranking the attacks, this would be it. 100%. And then, of course, the tourists themselves are like, what are we going to do? Freaking out. Mindy's like, don't move. They do the classic callback to Val when he ran for the cat, and they do the leg thing where he like lifts his leg up and the thing goes underneath. So that was a cool little callback. I forgot how they got back on the how they all got on the residual boulder, but eventually they do.
Throw your keys.
Yeah,
Jack
yeah,
threw
he
the
threw the
keys and run.
keys and
Threw the keys and ran. Which I will say, there's a part. Okay, go ahead, Christian.
My favorite part is this guy who's carrying a Minolta film camera, but the sound effects they use are from like, a digital camera that's shooting like very quickly. It's like that's not how that camera works, but okay.
I'm gonna say this right now too, just so that I could get it out of the way right now.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't have, because we're talking about residual boulders and all that stuff. This movie doesn't have a pole vaulting scene. This movie doesn't have a solid snake door scene or whatever. Like
No, it doesn't. No.
And that's and
no,
to me
it does. It does.
Does it?
It has them holding the mattresses.
Oh my god.
Okay.
It has the mattresses, and they're in that boat for a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
True. Okay.
You know.
It's no pole vaulting scene.
It's no
though.
pole vaulting.
The pole vaulting scene is like one of the
Best things in
Cla-
movies.
like classic
Whatever-
cinema.
no, whatever a Christian feels.
It's a masterpiece. All right.
That thing should be as good as it is. No, that scene is beautiful.
It's so great.
The way it moves.
Oh, it's so good. The music, it's like a montage. It's so good.
I love it. You know, Christian hates it.
I have to fact check. I have to fact check myself. I said Minolta. I meant Mamiya. I'm just
Got
throwing
it.
that out there.
Fair,
Not that it
thank
matters. But
Thank
just-
you.
Gotcha.
Thank you. People in the comments would fucking rip you apart.
One would hope not.
Also,
Also, real quick,
Yeah.
there was a part earlier I wanted to shout out real quick as well. They got a nice shot of Dark Horse Comics. There is a
Yes.
grab-on
Oh,
comic now.
yeah.
Dark
This-
Horse
this-
nearby in Portland, Oregon.
This was my. I think I said in the last episode, this was my urge of like, I want to write Tremor comics because I never thought I'd make a Tremor movie, but I would write the fuck out of some Tremor comics. And Dark Horse, the art looked incredible. Like, I want to own whatever they got and put that like on a wall because I think it looks awesome. And I love that it's an Alien versus Predator ripoff too.
Yeah.
Which I thought was genius and a precursor to what happens until later in the movie, which I'm very
Yeah, foreshadowing.
a little foreshadowing actually.
Dude, this movie has some pretty great foreshadowing.
It does.
I'll get some more later. Yeah.
100%.
I feel like also, I mean, totally different thing, I guess, in a way. But I feel like this has like a lot more like licensing kind of weird cameo stuff because there was like an Earthworm Jim thing that you could see in the background at some point that I noticed, and I was like, why is this just these random like properties that I could see?
I don't know,
that's
it's-
like kind of wormy. I
Whatever
guess. I don't know.
Universal owns.
Yeah, whatever they
Yeah.
got their hands on at the time. It's
It
funny.
was specific. It was specifically, I saw Earthworm Jim. I'm like, why is Earthworm Jim in the background of like this thing?
Nah,
I'm
that's
really
not-
confused.
Graboid, man. Worms.
Yeah.
Graboid.
Yeah,
Worms.
connection.
Yeah.
Whatever the one guy's name is who did the music, I forgot his name. But anyways, you're absolutely right about the connection thing. I noticed. Here's the funny thing. Here's another thing about the TV show. So remember at the end of this movie, we'll get to it. But basically, Mindy and Nancy capture the ass blaster and they sell it. They sell it to Siegfried and Roy in the movie. Siegfried and Roy in the movie. In the TV show.
And then, Sigmund and Ray.
Sigmund and Ray is the name. So I say the Tremors TV show is just in an alternate universe, but that's just me. Whoop. That's some Doctor Who shit. But yes,
It's
Sigmund and Roy.
man.
Sigmund and Roy, you got a deal. Okay. Love it. So okay. So everyone's on the boulder. They're like, okay, how are we gonna get out of this? They decide to take all the bottles and the things in Jack's cooler. We're just gonna chuck it this way. And I'll just pile on slowly into the truck while Jack throws, of course, the camera, which I assume is the thing that really distracts the graboid. They get in the car. They take off. It's wonderful. The gun is fake.
He throws that camera to get rid of the evidence. You do realize that, right?
Did he? No.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The camera is the only evidence that he may have fucked up that day, and he's totally. If you watch him, he goes back like grab anything, and he's like, "Oh, that camera! I need to get rid of it," and fucking throws it. There's no need for it at all. He just does it because he knows.
I like that.
Evidence. Get rid of that over there.
Yep. We're not going to tell Buford's family? No, 100%. No,
Nope.
that's smart. That's smart.
We're gonna forget about him altogether.
We're going to forget about him for the rest of this movie. Which, of course, everyone gets back. No. The best shot is that all happens, and where do we go next? We go to Burt Gummer's fucking bunker where he's looking at a seismograph. He's like, finally, we'll be prepared this time. Or some fucking awesome line, just badass,
Yeah.
just
This
awesome.
time, we're ready for you.
This time we're ready for you. And then sure enough, he slaps the alarm goes off. I fucking love this part. And then everyone's on the roof. They pulled the ladder down. They like go on the roof. It's fucking awesome.
I'm right. I'm on my roof.
Yes, it's so
Yeah.
good. And then Mindy and Jack go back in the town. They, people are complaining about refunds and refund his camera. I love that scene. That actor who plays the really obnoxious white guy with the paint on his nose, like
with the nose callback. I always love that.
yeah, love it. So good, so good, so good. And so now they're trying to figure out what to do, right? So I think they all gather inside of Chang's market, if I'm not mistaken. And they're all just trying to talk it out. Go ahead.
Yeah, dude. This is where like I actually really like Jody. And
Yes.
I think maybe the acting got a little bit worse as it continued, but like
Sure.
in this scene specifically, when Jody and Jack are like talking to each other, like
Oh yeah.
there's kind of some great chemistry there, and like Jody's like,
Oh, yeah.
I love how like smart she is. She busts out her business plan and she just keeps on her. I'm like, this is kind of incredible. I like this.
I also like that her business plan, the notebook literally just says business plan on it.
I mean, what else do you want on there?
does.
With a graboid. You have a little graboid.
Oh, I love it. It's so good.
I fucking love these movies.
Sailboating, canoeing, whatever the other one, golf clubbing. Oh yeah, Chang's Market, outdoorsy, underground monstery. Yeah,
Does
No.
this carry on to the TV show? Yes, it does, and it's really funny.
But I do agree, though. I like this is where you get to see that chemistry between Jack and Jody.
Jack and
like,
Jody.
and obviously they developed that throughout the entire movie. But like, I think this is the first time that you see that, and I definitely agree with you, Christian. That like, this is where that kind of chemistry starts for sure.
Yeah,
it's small town. I love the small town feel of it. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Definitely.
yeah.
I mean, this this kind of stuff was the reason why I think the first movie was so great.
Yes.
is because
Mhm.
and especially that beginning part of the first movie of like, this is just a small town with a bunch of people that you think you can kind of relate to because they're they're just like us or whatever like that, and then they're put into this weird situation,
Yes.
but and then they
like
get
us.
kind of wild a little bit.
So everyone gets gathers. Of course, Burt comes in. They determine that there are 3 graboids. That's right, 3 graboids. And what are we going to do about it? And so the next day, they go on their plans to. Oh yeah.
No, I love this night scene. If you actually, there's a great comparison when they're talking around this table. It's like the first movie
Yes.
when they have that powwow after they
Yeah.
find the first couple of bodies and they're all talking at night.
Yes.
It is a direct, like, oh yeah, it's why I would love a 2.5 hour cut of this, of them just being small town.
I want the
Like,
12
I
Angry
really
Men
want-
version of Tremors. Yeah.
Nancy
Yeah.
calling out.
Oh no, you cut off. Oh, what was that last part again?
Like she's like calling out Burt, like, oh, we don't have to act like a bunch of militia nitwits. We can actually radio outside of the valley. We have cell phones now. Like this isn't
Yes.
hard to do.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
very real and relatable. Like, oh yeah, I can see my mom saying that when I try to go like kill graboids or something. You're like, no, we gotta call the government.
Yes. Well, you know what?
Fine.
You know what, Levi? Calling the government just bites you in the ass, literally, because the very next day, they go ahead and get ready to go on some graboid hunting. But of course, Nancy goes straight freaking heel rogue and calls the FBI. And we get introduced to, government agents Charlie Rusk and Frank Statler, and Dr. Andrew Melvis, who claim.
Merlis, no. This is a fun fact.
I think I know what the fact is. Go for it.
Merlis is actually a friend of Brett Maddock,
Uh-huh.
and he wrote that name into the script. He hadn't met him and connected with him in a long time,
Uh-huh.
and he was like, "Hey, if I write his name in there, Andrew will like reach out to me and find me," and they did, and they've actually been talking and meeting each other more.
That's
ever
awesome.
since then.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So
Dr.
he was just,
Merlis was like, "Yay."
how did he even know that?
So cute. I love that.
So for the people, because your voice cut it out, so you're saying that the Maddock wrote the character's name to basically be a call out to someone that he knew previously. And
Yep.
then basically he saw it and they actually got connected, which is really cool.
Oh,
So
That's why I love that. Just like, oh, that's cute.
that is
Oh,
cute.
that's nice.
The other fact is the other FBI agent. We've seen him before.
Yeah.
He was one of the workers that got killed in the first movie. He's one of the construction workers, the Hispanic construction workers.
Oh, from those good kills from the second movie.
Yeah, the good kills from the first movie. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
He's the
The
dude
ones that
with
were
the
like drilling
mustache.
on the
Yes.
street. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the
So
one with the
good.
death metal. He's exactly the
Yes. So he comes back as another character. This is the only 2 scenes that we see him in. But yeah, shout out to them. But basically, they're saying that the graboids are an endangered species, right? Because there's only 3 of them in the world left, according to this movie. Which are
hold on a second.
yes,
Wasn't there like a bajillion of them in like the second movie? Like they were in wherever they were in the second movie.
Yes,
and
there
then,
were like 24 worms or something.
there was like they were all over the world at some point. At one point, like what happened to that? I mean, I guess it's 11 years or whatever. How long ago?
11 years.
11 years.
Yeah, 11 years.
Like, I guess it's 11 years, so maybe they killed them all or whatever. But
Apparently, they killed all the ones in Mexico. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Alec Bobco, thank you so much for rating us with 7 viewers. If you don't know, you are in the middle of Tremors territory. We're going to be reviewing Tremors 3. So if you've not seen this
You're in
movie,
the hard graboid country.
thank you. If you haven't seen this movie, we're going to spoil it, but you know what? That's part of the fun. So come on, hang out. Let's just
this movie came out in 200001, right?
yeah, it's 2001. Yeah, 2001.
We're good.
It is
Welcome, guys.
This is like 20 years old.
this was a post 9/11 movie. Bob Ray, thank you so much. Summer Josh, I love you. So yes, so the FBI agents are saying they're endangered species, preventing them from hunting them. Of course, this goes to Burt Gummer going to this eminent domain, very upset because they need to lock this whole area down.
Quick, like
Irony.
by the.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Levi.
Oh no.
Just irony that's happening finally.
The whole like intrusion of the government kind of fucks, to be honest. Like it's almost getting like there's like criticisms there, but they're also like kind of right because they are an endangered species, but like, you know, they are dangerous as well. Like those kinds of like meditations that kind of rocked. It's kind of a shame they didn't go back to those, but I also didn't like the agents. So I'm like, you know, good riddance, whatever.
Oh, you'll love the TV show thing. Oh man.
Oh my
They
god.
get into it.
Oh my god. All right. Well, let me
The
tell you.
politics of Tremors.
So yeah, we'll get to. I'll do a brief about.
They get into it. That's all we'll say. They get into it.
They get into it. That's literally the plot of the show. So that means that they can't hunt them, but you know what they can do? They can capture them alive. And so Burt Gummer strikes a deal with them. If they can capture 1 graboid alive, they will be allowed to kill the remaining 2, which is fucked up. You really think about it. It's like, what are these were panda bears? Like, if you capture 1, you can kill the other 2. I love it.
That's not how they breathe. They're like, we got the one. That's all. What did they need it to?
Yeah, they just needed them to obviously wait a while, turn into these shriekers, make a bunch of them, and then who knows what happens after that. Yeah, but otherwise, Burt, of course, says he agrees, and Jack and him go set out to set up a trap. While they're setting up a trap, we are introduced to yet a returning character. Oh, by the way, Miguel shows up at some point. He's a really awesome character. I forgot about that. Miguel shows up at some point. He just shows up, like, "Hey, what's up, Burt?" And then he leaves for later half of the movie. Otherwise, we meet someone else, though, and we meet, of course, the dickhead himself, Melvin. Melvin shows up.
This guy sucks.
Sucks.
I never what is Melvin trying to do in this movie?
So Melvin is trying to package the valley. He hates it, apparently, so that he can make a lot of money selling ranchette homes instead of it being just sort of like this barren, like 4-person town, right? So he's trying to package up the valley.
He's not doing a bad thing. I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, before he gets the graboids, like, what are you going to do with the area? He's trying to do something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you know what he's doing? He's doing gentrification.
Yes.
Well,
Problem number 1. Problem number 2 is, again, with the government when they're saying, you know, we'll give you, whatever your property's worth.
Yes.
Which would not go very far, I think, wherever they end up getting displaced at. Which, again, these kinds of meditations, like, oh, I like
These are the
Economic frustration.
No, 100%, and you would love the TV show because that's literally what the TV show is about. It's about all these frustrations. But yeah, so Melvin is in charge. He's the one that runs the ranchettes, the ones that are trying to break up the valley, and this pisses off Burt to no end because this was Melvin's home, and Melvin is a shithead, and he hates it too. Which of course, then we get our next graboid, which. I'm gonna set the scene a little bit. They're in the field. They're trying to set up obviously how to like tranquilize dart these graboids, but at the same time there's a barrel there for some reason. This will come and play in just a second. While Melvin's just being a dick and just saying things and like trying to lay out his evil plan, the graboids start showing up. And this ain't El Blanco. No, we beat one of the 3 graboids that are in this movie. It immediately pops out of the ground. I forgot if it was CG or real. They also reuse a lot of footage.
Yeah, I was gonna say they reused a shot from Tremors 1.
Use a shot from Tremors 1. The Tremors pops up, scares the living shit. Like Melvin's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe there's more of them," and he wouldn't shut the fuck up. This part freaked me out when I watched this the first time. Because you see Burt falls down, almost about to get eaten by a goddamn graboid. He somehow manages to get inside of a barrel, and the barrel and Burt Gummer get swallowed by the graboid. And they play this sad music, and you're left with this guy you don't like named Desert Jack. And you're just like, what? Yeah, they're like sad, like pipe music. And I'm just like, this is not how fucking Burt Gummer goes. There's no goddamn way.
He doesn't get swallowed. That's bullshit.
That does not happen. That does not happen.
This would have hit for me if you didn't fucking tell me that Burt Gummer like is like a regular in the rest of the series or whatever.
This could be the rest of the series. You never know.
That's true.
When I first watched it as a kid, I thought he died.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
When I first watched it as it aired, I was legit like, oh. So I guess we're gonna focus on the Cactus Jack guy now. All right then.
No. Yeah.
But then
nope. Mm-hmm. You only get a moment of sadness before you hear on the radio, Burt Gummer's alive. And he has not a lot of oxygen left. And so he needs to get Desert Jack or Cactus Jack to drive his car straight into his compound. And the whole time, Jack is like, what else do I do? What else do I do? He doesn't tell him, right? Because he has to conserve his air. So he goes and drives like a bat out of hell. Drives like crazy, leads the graboid into the compound of Burt Gummer. And what does the graboid do? Fucking hits like a goddamn bastard, smashes right into this barrier that is built around the Burt Gummer compound because Burt's a fucking smart motherfucker. Oh, shit.
Call back to number 1, baby.
Call back to number 1, which, by the way, hold on. I just remembered something. During the FBI, when they first show up, that same night, Burt Gummer was in his house.
Yes.
He was out in his house, and it was nighttime.
Yep.
And then the thing goes off, and Burt Gummer goes outside, and we see the introduction of El Blanco, which is this beautiful CGI penis. Pops out of the ground, and they basically look like they're talking to each other.
This rocks, dude. Like,
I love it too, personally.
Just directly ripping off Moby Dick, but with words.
Yes.
Again, they get into that. It's that's me and those two just swinging around each other all the time.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd literally says, like, what about you and that big worm? It's like, El Blanco, you're like Captain Ahab, and he's your Moby Dick. Like, just straight calls it. You're like,
that's right. Christopher Lloyd is in the TV show. So,
what?
I'll just spoil everything else. The cameos in the TV show. You know how there's FBI? Yeah, remember there's FBI agents in this movie. Well, there's an FBI agent in the whole run of the TV show played by Dean Norris, fucking Hank himself from Breaking Bad. Exactly, the Minerals, Marie. And there is a shady, potentially mob-related character that you don't really know much about, played by Michael Rooker, who gets fucking eaten in the best way possible. It's one of the best things. So good. I love it. Anyways, so we meet El Blanco. We're introduced to El Blanco. So you understand that there is a white whale version of the Graboid. So we had Stumpy in the first one, and now we have El Blanco. All right, so we have named Graboids. Okay, back to the scene at hand. Of course, we have Burt Gummer is trapped inside this dead Graboid that got smashed into the compound, which is fucking awesome. Jack has to figure out a way to save him. And what does he do? He runs into the shack, just so happens to know that there's a tool that would help him in the form of a fucking chainsaw. And I was like, yeah, let's go. He digs him up. He cuts right into that son of a bitch. And this is some of the coolest effects in the movie, in my personal opinion. I love their mix of blood, the way that they cut into the skin of it. And I don't know how, like, he didn't cut into the barrel. I don't know if the barrel just got dissolved because it just kind of disappears in this next part. While that's happening, Jody shows up.
Oh, no. So when he cuts into it, you see like a little bit of a spark.
Oh, you do? Okay.
When he starts cutting into the barrel.
Good.
And then they start. That's when he starts ripping it apart.
Okay, good. So that's that HD for you. You got to make sure you have that.
Well, the fun part about this is that my internet was really bad while I was watching this movie. So it actually looked like hot garbage the whole time I was watching it.
Oh no!
Yeah, I watched it on Stars on Amazon. I love when it was just like the logo pops up every like 15 minutes. Stars.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Oh, yeah, great.
I totally forgot what I was watching.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
What network is this?
Yeah, exactly. Jody also shows up because I think she hears the commotion on the radio. This sort of begins sort of the main cast of this movie. You know, the Val. Oh my God.
Val, Earl, and Rhonda of
yes,
the
Val, Earl, and Rhonda of the movie. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's exactly what I was going for. And that's going to be essentially your group going forward. If I'm not mistaken, we're going to try to look back at my notes here. So yeah, they set off. Oh, real quick. Does Burt being eaten by a Graboid come back later in the series in some aspects? Maybe if we ever continue doing this.
No.
If we ever come back in the show.
Why are you spoiling this, man?
I'm not spoiling it. I'm just saying, keep an eye on this
No.
story topic just for later.
Dumb is what it is. Not even that one, but it's dumb. Ugh.
Anyways, continuing on. I'm trying to say it.
We'll yell about it when we get there.
Yes. Another day goes by. Burt, Jack, Jody, and Miguel now is all joining the group, and they are trying to reach out to the FBI agents, and for some reason can't get in touch with them. So we're like, oh, what's going on with the FBI agents? We haven't heard anything. They say Melis or oh my God,
Andrew Merlis.
Who is covered in phosphorus, I guess, from the fire extinguisher. Turns out one of the worms, one of the three worms, has now turned into shriekers. And we are in bad territory because if they get some food, they're going to multiply, and we're going to have a repeat of the last movie.
I will say that agent walking up like completely shell shocked, like that was like an added like horror element esque. That was pretty good.
Very good, very good. And the reveal too. I enjoyed the reveal as well. Like it because we saw the last movie and it worked for Fred Ward's character, Earl, but in this one it does not seem to work for him. So by the way,
that's actually the fans were telling Stampede, yeah, that doesn't work. You know, the physics of that, it actually, you would still see his heat or whatever. So they're like, okay, we will write it into the third one then. And so that's where that actually comes from, is that like taking fans.
Is that the same thing? How like the body heat of the ground would also show?
And the other one, and I'm always like, yeah, that's true, isn't it?
It's like that's what it is. So Melvin, not Melvin, I can't say it. Andrew, Dr. Andrew, passes away sadly, and all we're left with is the shriekers, in which now we have to take them out, right? So they go, if I'm not mistaken, go and find them. And as they go find them, I believe they are cut off by the albino graboid El Blanco, if I'm not mistaken at this point. And we get on a residual boulder, and we have a residual boulder scene that is pretty extended, if not a tad boring.
Too many in this movie.
Nope.
Yeah, and too many in this movie. I agree with you, Cristian, and not as fun. Yeah.
However,
yeah,
I also like this scene though. Why you may ask? Because it is revealed Jack has like this very intellectual side. He's talking about people like all these cumulus and stratus clouds. Let me tell you about the clouds that I like. But he has this
I
great
love
line.
the cirrus clouds. All
right.
right.
And I'm like, oh shit, this guy's got layers. Like he's just like an onion.
He's like an
But
onion.
he says this line. He says, "Don't you ever look up." And I wrote that down for whatever reason because I thought like, oh, he's like nice and introspective, like cool character like building there.
Yeah.
Turns out it's actually amazing foreshadowing for later.
Yes.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it is. It's wonderful. Again, this movie has layers, just like Jack. This begins sort of like, this is we get to spend time with Burt and Miguel, which we got a little bit of in the first movie, but not a lot. So it's kind of nice to just see them interacting, right? You don't see these characters getting a chance to because they'll never again in this.
I don't think they even remember me in the first movie. I'm trying to think of something.
They were in the same room. They were like in the same room at one point. The nighttime scene, yes, but then after that, that's it, really. Yeah, but they know of each other. They talk about each other, stuff like. Or at least Miguel does. Bert's doing his thing. So, and then of course the Shriekers are apparently on the other side of this mountain. They come up with a plan to lead El Blanco away. If I'm not mistaken, the whole night, Miguel, being the ever resourceful person, made this awesome like fishing line, which he used to get this speaker. At this point, they tell Mindy and Nancy that, hey, the Shriekers are out, so please go onto the roof and be in a box all night.
I love that box scene. It's so weird to me. It's like that sucks. I can see how they had to like improvise, and that just seems really shitty to sleep in that box all night. But what are you gonna do?
I like that because like it shows how respectful Nancy is of like the seriousness of the situation. She's like she's prepared.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And hey, if I'm gonna spend the night on top of the market, I'm getting free food. Just saying, getting free food, and hopefully that what was it? Remember in the first movie when the water cooler or whatever it was that like made noise? Hopefully that doesn't go off. Hopefully they fix that 11 years later. Who knows? So they come up with a plan to have one of the radios play loud music. And you know who likes loud music? Apparently Mindy. This weird generic rock music, which I would have loved. Yeah, this like. And of course, Burt looks at it, does that fucking cool like chucks it, and then you just hear El Blanco just like go off on it. Immediately, everyone gets off their residual boulders. I love that phrase. That's why I'm gonna keep saying it. They get the guns, they get the ammo. You already know that like someone gets a sniper rifle, someone gets like a machine gun. It's fucking awesome. Everyone gets guns. Burt sets the vehicle to just start traveling so that El Blanco will go follow it. I guess seemingly thinks that the car's gonna be okay. We'll get to that later. Then they go run on foot. They go take out the Shriekers, and they don't find Shriekers. They find husks. What are these smart bastards up to now? All right. So it doesn't take long before they're trying to head back to the truck. They're trying to check back to the truck, and they find the truck. The truck is flipped over. It is on fire.
Miguel's like, oh, I like that truck.
I like that truck. And then Burt's just like lamenting this truck. It's like semi-auto. Like he like talks about the small arms fire. Like he like does this like
my ammo. Pop, 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 pop,
pop, pop, pop.
He's got perfect timing in this movie. Like Burt's time, like right on. He's almost a little meta, but I love it.
I love this movie because of Burt. This is why I like it in my rotation of movies because of Burt. If he wasn't in this movie would never be anywhere near as fun.
Sure. No.
100%. He makes this movie. So we, of course, don't have time to mourn the truck because we're about to mourn Miguel because we are introduced to our very first introduction, which, of course, Michael has the picture.
What? Watch out behind you, Mike! Yeah, it's going to get you!
That's right. Oh, no! We are introduced to the third cycle in the life of the Graboid, the Ass Blaster. How do we know? Well, it so happens to shake up its butt, which I assume has a bunch of chemicals in it, does a little bit of a combustion fart, and just takes off like a bat out of hell, just straight up into the sky. He doesn't necessarily fly, he glides, right? Just sort of does his thing. It's like a mongoosey looking design. Like they still take elements of all of the creatures and just make this like really very bizarre version. He's almost like the dinosaur in Jurassic Park 3 that I don't like, which is the one that kills the T-Rex. I fucking hate that dinosaur.
Yeah.
I don't. Is that a real dinosaur? If it is, fuck that one because it killed a T-Rex and I don't like it. That's still upset about that. And so this thing, go ahead. Yeah, Christian.
There's you know what? I'll say, you know what? Never mind. I'll save it. I'll save it for like the climax. I'll bring it up there.
Got it. Okay, got it. This, of course, is the part where the thing is flying in the air and everyone's like shooting at it with fucking bullets and just going nuts, except for Miguel, who's not on the ground. And this mongoose fucker just nails him, and he falls down and dies. We see him off screen. You see this. This is what you see. You just see hands.
They did our homie so bad in this.
So bad.
Yeah.
Did not need
Also,
to die.
it's the actual death is like 1 second of the screen time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
deserve more.
Is this a good time to do the podcast within a podcast? I don't know. Remember what it's called, but I'm gonna call it "Rad Boys Talking Grab Boys."
Rad Boys talking. Rad Boys.
Rad Boys.
Grab Boys.
Grab Boys.
Go ahead.
The old ragu grab boy grab
Grabu.
The grab pussy.
Grab pussy.
Now, oh no, please don't. So here we are. You know, we're introduced to. Yes, this is the podcast within a podcast. I guess we're calling it Rad Guys Talking
Ragu. Grabu.
No, Rad Boys Talking Graboids.
Yes,
right,
Rad Boys Talking Graboids. There you go.
Yeah, and so we're introduced to another creature here in Tremors 3, and it's called the Ass Blaster, obviously, and. We're here to rank them. As we did. I think initially we had number 1 was the Graboid, number 2 was the Shrieker, and where do we think the Ass Blaster falls in here? I mean,
I'm gonna Levi. Where is your ranking on the 3?
Shriekers are number 1, Graboids are number 2, Ass Blasters are number 3.
They're just yeah.
Shriekers are fucking terrifying. I was with you, Christian, on the last one. The entire concept. I'm out.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
These are the least threatening.
Good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to be fair, like I could have been totally swayed for Shrieker being number 1.
Gotcha.
I just think the Graboid is just a very iconic. It's the iconic.
It's OG.
You know.
Yeah.
It's just an iconic thing. That is what Tremors is, and so I think why we ended up going with number 1 for that. Yeah, these are number 3 by far.
By far, these are number 3.
And then technically one more to add to.
It's like a shitty Shrieker.
Literally.
That could kind of fly, I guess.
Yes.
It has the one thing it could do, it could fart and fly. And that's about it. And then after that, it's like, well, this thing otherwise is a piece of garbage. Like, ooh, this is nothing.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% behind that. I think that the Ass Blaster is just not a equivalent upgrade to, even though it flies, which is like a big upgrade. The name alone, I think, is a detractor, but it is fucking funny and now has been a part of my lexicon for so long of my life. It's just part of it now, you know?
I love the name, the monster. The name I get behind so much because it's just like, fuck? Like I said, this is the only movie rated PG out of all of them. And they just repeatedly say the words Ass Blaster over and over again.
Blast just ass.
Just like a porno.
Sadly, it's one of the lines from the movie. Like, they know what they're trying to say, and it's so fucking funny.
It's just... it's the thing of like, could they have come up with a better name? Probably, but also, what else would you call it? What else would you call it?
It's just good. Actually, the TV show has the best name, ABs. But yeah, continue.
ABs, yeah.
There's one time I thought this Ass Blaster was threatening, and it's when it's melting a steel wall that is Burt Sapin. That is actually like kind of insane. Like I was like, oh, this it's doing something.
Oh, it's got something for it.
Which
now.
you would think that Mindy and Nancy would be fucking dead by the time we get to their story, right? You're like, how did they survive? But apparently that one slab of meat ends up winning the day.
Through irony. They survive through irony.
They survive through irony.
It's hilarious that they. She just microwaves this like raw ass thing of ham.
5 seconds.
It had a pineapple on it.
She just throws it on there. She's like, they like hot food. Like
They look at things that are hot and just throws it.
As if like this frozen meat would have been like at like 180 degrees or whatever. I'm like, okay, come on,
She's
guys.
like juggling it because it's burning her.
Yeah. Oh, it's so hot with this pineapple on it. Yeah, I'm gonna straight up say 3. I'm gonna rank it 3. It just doesn't beat the Graboid. Yeah. It does nowhere near even the Shrieker. Shrieker is still iconic in my opinion as a sequel.
Shrieker's great. So that's the thing that I realized coming into 3 is like the Shrieker actually is
kind of awesome.
Is as iconic and as awesome as the Graboid.
Yeah.
There's actually supposed to be more Shrieker action in this script. Like and it's where I get really sad because we have the Graboid at the beginning and then the Ass Blaster at the end. You could tell there's supposed to be some more Shrieker there in the middle. You're like, oh.
It's funny you say that. Like, I wish there was like from so far that we've seen, like we had more equal time for all 3, variations of it, and I feel like we never do for the most part, at least in the movies that we see so far. So yeah, no, I'm very curious if we'll ever get that in the future movies or future sequels if they ever make more.
No, that movie doesn't fucking count for Shriekers, man. There's barely any in it. I don't qualify.
There is a sequel called Shrieker Island, but we won't talk about it. Anyways,
it might as well be called Graboid Island.
I'm cool. We don't have obviously Jose's ranking on this, but I assume he would be in line with whatever we have to say. Do we want to re-rank the 3 and like decide here, actively go and just go rogue and like?
Yeah, sure. You know what? Yeah,
always had the Shriekers up top.
Why not?
I'll go Shriekers this time if we honestly.
I still, for me personally, I still think the Graboid is numero uno, and I just really, and it's only of like how they used it, like with the practical effects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think like it has nothing to do with the actual monster and stuff. If we're dealing with the monsters themselves, I think the Shrieker obviously takes the cake here. Mm-hmm. I think that is very much like a better monster, I guess, and a more threatening monster.
Better sequel monster for sure.
I think how they actually use it, like as like in the film, and like how they show it and how they showcase the Graboid, I think is a lot better than any of them because the Shrieker they just kind of do like some random like CGI stuff and whatever, and it looks kind of goofy, honestly.
Yeah.
But like the Graboid, they have like the time to like actually use the practical effects and do like all the rad gory quote unquote stuff that they do in these movies are because of the Graboids. Like all the cool parts.
Yeah, in the Fred face. Oh my god,
yeah, they are all because of the Graboids. So that's the only reason why I always say the Graboids is number 1. Gotcha. But in terms of like actual monsters, like that are threatening and are like cooler, I guess. Like probably the Shrieker would be number 1 for sure.
Cristian, you have something to say?
Call me nostalgic, but I will acquiesce and say yes. You know what? Let's put Graboids at number 1. Okay. With the exception of that one Shrieker death where the homie's like getting eaten alive.
Oh yeah.
That's still my favorite death.
Wild.
Still my favorite death.
Still one of the best.
In the
Wild
movies. The fact that like how many like Graboid deaths are like off screen and it doesn't need to be shown and it's still terrifying.
Yes.
Like that speaks volumes, I think, for like how iconic the Graboids are. There's that one death of the dude who gets sucked through the tire. And like there's countless deaths where people are like screaming while being like gone. Yeah. That's horrifying.
Nestor.
So yeah. I'm with you. I'll do Graboid.
All right,
number 1.
Graboids are number 1. Shriekers.
I would agree with you on that. I was going from a monster to Shriekers, just like the straight. Like if I was to face a monster, I would prefer to face a Graboid or an Ass Blaster. I would hate to see a Shrieker on the street, Yeah. But as far as design and the creature, Graboid definitely takes the like. It's just perfect. Well, they worked on that idea for a long ass time, and we're just like, this is how we make this and make it right, and it works.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Do the ass blasters get their day though in the TV show? I think so. I think they're more terrifying in the TV show from the little that I've seen it. So yeah, okay, all right. Then I'd say affinity, Mike. If you want to rank them down, I think if I'm not mistaken, it is in fact number 1 Graboid, number 2 Shrieker, number 3 Ass Blaster, and that is the final ranking of Ragu.
Rad boys talking graboids.
That's right.
Gray boy, gray boy.
Gray boys.
Playa.
There we go. Play it. Where do we leave off on the plot? The plot, of course, if I'm not mistaken.
Ass Blaster showed up. Miguel died on the roof. Ham.
Oh,
Yes.
we'll get.
No,
we didn't do that.
no,
We haven't done that yet. Okay. So Burt's place is not that far. If you walk a certain terrain, you'll hit rock and you're fine. So they walk to Burt's house. They get in contact with Mindy. They tell him Miguel's dead. Right. Sad day. They're still on the roof. As you're doing that, if I'm not mistaken, you see this awesome. This is probably to be my favorite shot of the movie, which is actually the ass blaster coming from the sky and then just running into the box. Which you then get this kind of I think is a decent chase scene for a straight to home movie, where the girls get pushed in the box because the ass blaster has found them on the roof. They attack them in the store. They're trying to avoid it. What does Mindy do? She cooks a ham and throws.
Cook is a pretty liberal use of that
he
word there,
warms
but
up a ham that has pineapples
even
on
still,
it. It's liberal. It's liberal at best. They like body heat or whatever. Yeah, she blows on it, throws it, and just like, oh no, they don't think about the consequences of eating it because, shriekers, if you eat things, you turn into more shriekers. So they run into the freezer, if I'm not mistaken. They just watch for their lives, and that's where we leave them. Yep.
I think the whole idea was that like the reason why she even did that was like, oh, they're attracted to
Heat.
like warmth or heat or whatever.
That is the
She's
reason.
like, I'm not stupid, Mom. She did like that.
She
whole
says
thing.
that, not knowing she just
I never
said
thought you were stupid.
it. I never thought you were stupid. That's
I never saw you stupid, and then she's like, well.
Love it. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for that. We cut back to Burt and the gang, and basically he's just showing them his cool stuff, all these guns on the walls. They're impressed by it. You see the
Superhero.
Yeah, the superhero lair. You never see the top part of his house, which I respect. We never see. We always see the lair. We don't see the top part ever. What I also love is you see the love seat from the second movie in there as well. It's in the background. I think that's really funny. You don't see the giant graboid head though. I noticed that.
Yeah.
Where's that?
I wonder that.
What happened to that? Maybe
I know it's budget, and they didn't have the budget to put it in there, and I just it's just a camera angle. We didn't get it, in the business.
You know what? I'm gonna say Gummer. Not only is a fan of guns, he's a fan of antiquities. He donated it to a museum.
the Smithsonian.
To the Smithsonian. Yeah, exactly. Actually, there was one thing that happened that we didn't talk about. Again, I'll try to fill in the blanks here. I'm trying to do this all from memory. We actually learned from Dr. Melvis, Andrew, that yes, we learned that they found eggs. And the fact that they come from egg-based life forms, it looks like they are like 300 years old, and I assume that's when that happens. They lay out the eggs, they hatch. We find out that actually the ass blasters are carrying those eggs, and that's how they basically procreate and go into and be other places. That's how the cycle begins. Goes from being a graboid to a shrieker to an ass blaster to back to being a graboid. So,
could you imagine living in the 1700s and just like hearing farts above you and seeing one of those just flying over like this shit, like a ship or something in the water?
I mean, if only we had movies like that, that'd be great. Yeah.
Oh man, I so want more shriekers and ass blasters in the 1700s. That's all I got to say to that. I want more. I would, yes, give me that idea.
That's a great
because
idea.
it would. But it's the Stampede people talk about that, where it would be the basis of the Thunderbird legend in Native American lore.
There you go. Way to appropriate. That would be great. Yeah.
I'm already starting to say it, so I'll just say this stupid joke. Give me a Mayflower Tremors movie, just like
oh my
on
Lord.
the way to America to settle this country. Whoa, what is that? Yeah. Anyway, Mario, move on.
Before we can think about it, oh no, the ass blasters are here and they're attacking Burt's compound. One bursts.
In Graboid group. But is it ass blaster proof?
That's right. Is it Asbaster proof? Oh no! And it comes straight from the ceiling. They're always one step ahead of Burt. Yeah.
Is there a continuity error here? Because it looks like I thought that room was in the basement, but when the ass blaster comes in, it looks like it's just like the ground floor. You know?
Oh no, it's the basement.
It is the basement.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can see the little window, those basement window things that you always have at the top of the basement
Yes.
ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah, one of those.
You're right.
But like I was saying, we never see the actual house of Burt Gummer, so it must have burst through the ceiling and then burst through the floor. So it did a double
Two floors.
Yeah, straight up just Jeff Hardy its way down to the floor. Straight up
16 feet through the
hell in the cell, baby, fucking mankind, or turn down for what? All the way down to the floor. These ass blasters, you can't predict them. They start attacking everybody. Of course, Burt doesn't just have a bunker; he has a bunker for the bunker. Which, of course, he goes into this room, which is basically the shelter. And you know what's in that shelter? Fucking MREs, ready to eat meals, and toilet paper and other shit. And almost before he goes into a diatribe, but like he did into, it cuts him off pretty early. He also shows that they also had, I think, some fuel in there. And then they're like, Burt, what if they got to your food? Which immediately, yeah, that is a smart question to ask. What if they did get into your food, Burt? So what does he do? The only logical thing next, blow up your fucking house. And so what he does is he sets up the ass blaster who's burning through the door. He puts the gas tank right next to it, so that way it cause an explosion, causing the house to burn. But not only that, Burt, again, a man after my own fucking heart, has a Goonies tunnel.
Oh, that thing is awesome.
Fucking incredible. It has this tunnel, this like blank check tunnel that goes out the side of his house, down the residual boulders. Yep.
Okay, well, describe this thing first, and then I'll jump in.
So he goes down. So everyone goes down the tunnel. He goes in behind them. He talks about it blows up the first time, if I'm not mistaken, and then he says like it should hit my reserved ammo in 3, 2, or something like that. 2 and dude. And boom, just this massive explosion for a straight to home DVD thing, which is kind of awesome. Not gonna lie. You never see the building explode. You just see that fire. Which I noticed. Parts flown up everywhere. They kill quite a few of them, I assume, in this explosion. But there's still quite a few left. I think there's like 4 left. You had something to say?
This cannot be that much of a safe room if like I can climb like 50 feet up this concrete slide to reach it. You know what I mean?
True.
Like,
true.
Can't critters get into the safe room pretty easily? And
that little hole.
MREs? You know?
I have no idea. I mean, maybe you'll have to watch the TV show to find out.
Oh my God! Every question I have is answered in the show.
I don't mean to be like watch the TV show either, but the literal answer is just like, oh man. Wow. They managed to. Yep, they managed to.
Okay.
That's awesome.
In a really great way.
I haven't seen that episode, so I'm excited to see.
Then
that's why I know you have. So I was like, I'll let you discover that. It's good. Yeah. You would be right, Cristian, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Not exactly 100% smart there.
Good. Additionally, then I have another note, which is this is where I really miss the extra element of smell from like the first Tremors.
Oh yeah,
because I want to know what these.
That's right.
I smell like melting the door.
You guys were saying that in the Tremors too. Like, what treat they smell like? I need to know what ass blasters smell like. This is important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Someone describe it.
Someone, please. I want to know.
I would assume sulfur. Is what I would assume.
Sulfur?
Okay.
Yeah. I want to know what the white goose smells like. I want to know what the red goose smells like. I'm just curious what it looks like.
It's actually, it's hydronic and then hydrogen peroxide is the white one.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. Well.
Thought about like the Alec Gillis and Tom Woodruff fucking planned out. Kind of like surprised as I looked that up. Damn, guys, okay.
All right, good on them. So actually getting to Burt's house, that's when they do the mattress thing, right? When the ass blasters flying in the sky, they hide the mattress thing. This is when they find a boat. I think Burt's boat comes down.
You missed, because this is so important to Burt's character.
Okay.
And he blows up his house, and then Nancy calls.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Thank you.
This is so
Thank you. Thank you for stopping me. So before we get to the boat, we finally get Nancy back on the phone, and it turns he starts regaling what happened. You know, that she's being attacked by an ass blaster. They fed it, and Burke's freaking out. He's like, "Oh my god, no, that's not what you do. You can't feed it." And Nancy goes like, "No, feed it because we fed it, and it went to a food coma."
Yeah. Got the itis.
Had the itis, and they actually duct tape the thing.
Yeah.
They hog tie it.
They hog tie it, which is awesome. And Burt's face just falls. It just like, what is the line? It's something like something irony.
Supreme Being would condone such
Yes.
gross act of fun. I was like, man, you fucked up.
Yeah, you done
What's
great.
your life worth?
You fucking blow up his house. That's like, he immediately thought, it's like, hey, you're gonna get in your food, right? And it's like, no, if he ate that food, you would have been totally fine. If anything, could have kept inviting them over and feeding. But that's one way to get rid of the food source in this movie. But yeah.
Go make up with Riva. I feel like that's the real takeaway from that.
Yeah.
You need to go back to here, man.
Yeah. And so the ass blasters are obviously they see this giant fire, so they're swarming the building, and they have to figure out what do they got to do next. And what they decide to do next is they find this boat that comes down the hill, clearly exploded. Oh, I did notice that the trailer that had the chainsaw also flies down and like completely mangles. Yeah, that looked really cool. Yeah, I thought that was a cool detail. So they see this boat, they get a tarp and a stick, and then like they come with the thing that's awesome about these movies that everyone has a fucking plan, right? And the plan is we're gonna get on this boat, we're gonna go as far as we possibly can away from this area. Super smart, super fun. They are going down the area. You know, Jack is trying to like navigate it with the stick thing, and they hit a pole, and right above them is another ass blaster. And they run like goddamn bastards, and they run into a porta potty.
Oh my god, when they hide.
I love that shot. That toilet shot is supreme.
Yeah, just all three of them.
Just so good. No, can't we go? No team.
Yeah. No
There's only
time.
one thing that must smell worse than the ass blaster, and that's that porta potty.
That
That was specifically, yeah.
Which like,
a desert porta potty. Oh,
yeah. Which do you think? A lot of people take a shit in the desert porta potty? Like,
Dude, there's a line earlier that I totally forgot about, which is when they're in the middle of the desert, and or maybe it was upcoming. I don't know. Someone gives Jack like a sweater, like, you look cold. Like, dude, it's like the afternoon in the desert. There's no way he's cold. What? Okay.
Burt gives it to him. He's like, you look cold.
he gives it here. Take this sweater. You look cold.
Yeah, take the sweater. You look cold.
It's like 100 degrees.
I love it. It's good. Of course, they're like, hey, this porta potty is going to heat up pretty soon, right? Because of all the body heat. We got to come up with a goddamn plan. And immediately, Jack, with his infinite wisdom, because Burt doesn't have any guns. This is a situation where Burt has no guns. And what are we going to do? Well, we got to build Burt a gun. That's what we got to fucking do, right? So he comes with a potato gun. A potato gun, Burt, where they have to, basically find parts, and they come with this little plans like, you got to get the rag, or I'm going to get the rags, or I know how to get the fuel, which I love. I'm going to talk about that in a second. You get the rags, and then you get the piping and stuff like that. Then they spread out, right? And it goes on this like fucking cool like caper of like, I'm going to be quiet and stealthily get away from the ass blasters while trying to find things. Jody immediately gets caught up against one and fight and like smash him.
That kill, I love that ass blaster kill. Like as I watched it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
The smoothness of it where she cracked it and then the paint blows up and then you see the physical. It's like just the whole sequence is really well done.
Yeah. And the residual afterwards of like the body looks cool. Like I like that.
Yeah, and the little shaking and
like,
it's really
cartoony. Good. Yeah, 100%. Very Gremlins, which I thought was fun. And Cristian?
Well, my thing is like everybody's sneaking around, but Jody's like super lax, is walking straight up, just chilling about. It's like, come on, Jody.
Come on, Jody. Gotta do better than that. As she's gathering rags, we're going to let me go to Burt. Burt, of course, knows where to find the fuel, right? Because he goes to old Nestor's fucking trailer, which of course has some of that good stuff. All right, you know what I'm saying? Because Nestor loved his liquor, and
I actually put together a plot point of this as I went over and over it again. You guys talked about it in your first episode, where when he goes down and then he goes to the tire, it's just the dumbest fucking thing in the world. Where you're not even thinking. I think he's drunk.
Oh, could be.
All right, because he pulled old Nestor loved his shine. It's partly why he falls off the trailer too, and he's drunk. Halfway on the ground and just scrambling, and he's not thinking. So that's my retcon for why.
That's fine. I do love the little callback to Nestor, especially the trailer. So we get the alcohol. Jack, I think, gets either the rags or the other stuff, but it doesn't matter. At some point, they get caught up with another. They sneak up on a ass blaster and they push some sort of thing over it and crushes it. And then they all celebrate. They're like, "Ah, cool! We only got a few left."
Yeah, we killed it.
Wink, wink. We only got 3 left. 3 left ass blasters. So it becomes nighttime. They gather together. They build this fucking awesome gun, which I want to know the physics of because I would definitely want to do this one day.
You need a potato gun?
Yeah, love.
I'm done. It's super.
I've done like a faux, not like this fucking potato gun. You know what I'm saying? I've done like a fake one, like a plastic gun thing that I've done, but not like fucking fireball, like shooting a goddamn spear. I would love to do that one day. But I love the little piece of resistance. Of course, it has to have a trigger. And so they have like the sprinkler thing, which I thought was great. And there's like a bonding moment between him and Sawyer. And so, yeah.
It's got a laser on it too.
It fucking has a laser on it.
Tricking this thing out.
Tricking it out. I adore it. This is the part of the movie I like, is their ingenuity coming together and making this weird contraption.
Teamwork. Yeah. That small town feel. They're all working together. I really love it.
Love it. Love it. There's a goddamn plan going on. Totally into it. So we get ready for the first shot, right? We're going to go ahead and we're going to take out one of the first ass blasters. And Burt lines up the shot. Zach's, I think, preps the gun, and then Jody shoots the fire, if I'm not mistaken. And boom, potato gun goes off, takes out the first ass blaster, fucking explodes everywhere. Guts, the PA's throwing guts on the goddamn thing. It's so great. Great callbacks again all around to previous movies. And of course, Levi, I'm going to give you what is this awesome line that Burt says?
And that's why I'm at the table of 13.
Spam, slams the door. Fucking awesome.
So good.
Love it. I repeat that line regularly. Burt at the fucking top of his game, of course. If I'm not mistaken, they start getting ready for the second one. I think they hear like something come on the roof. Yep. Shit gets wild. The ass blaster is invading everything, if I'm not mistaken. They're fighting their way. They're doing their thing. I don't even remember how this section ends. If anyone wants to fill me in.
So I got it up, and Jody gets on
Jack's shoulders.
Shoulders.
Oh, that's right.
There's like a window up top. And I'm watching this back. I still don't quite understand. I think she shoots it off screen. She shoots the ass blaster, and it falls over to the side. And then on the bottom, on the ground floor next to the trailer, it blows up. Like this huge explosion where the screen goes white.
Yeah, screen goes white. Everyone's like disoriented. It's quite a thing. So that's
Burt should be dead.
Burt should absolutely be dead at this point, but he's not.
Ear damage at least.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, 100%. Of course. Now there's 2 left. There's 2 are gone. And we have 1 left, and they go ahead, prep the shot. They shoot at it. The fucker dodges it, just straight dodges it, and then begins this awesome I'm trying. Man, again, this part is a blur because the only thing I remember is the ending. But if I'm not mistaken, they line up another shot and shoot at it. Am I crazy about that?
Yeah, and it dodges out of the way, right?
I think this is when El Blanco shows up and pushes Burt out of the trailer. Like he actually shakes it, and then he falls.
How do they kill the third one? Because the fourth one comes back to life, right?
Fuck.
Yeah.
I know. Now I gotta
You know
find
what?
it in the
You know what?
movie.
It does not fucking matter. They kill it. They kill it somehow.
They kill it. It
They,
blows that shit
they
up.
blow it up. It's dead. All right. They kill this other one. That's when then they're like, oh, cool. We did it all. Good. We're going to pack it on up. Fucking El Blanco shows up and he was like, he's been hounding Burt this entire movie, which I didn't bring up. I'm sorry. I should have prefaced that. They've been hounding this reason because Burt got this little fancy watch at the beginning of the movie. The Argentinians gave him this watch as like connected to the nanosecond in Colorado, whatever the fuck that means. And for some reason, as his ultrasound mess with the dog. I remember that line. It turns out that watch has been connected to El Blanco. El Blanco's been able to hear it this entire time. He's been following Burt the entire movie. He goes and he gets caught because El Blanco knocks the trailer over, goes and gets trapped inside of a bed that is just all tagged up. He's all tactical vests. And immediately, like a smart son of a bitch, Jack takes the tape that was put on his pants by Mindy, rolls it up with the watch, and starts fucking routing it up with the goddamn graboid. This then, of course, wakes up the ass blaster, if I'm not mistaken, happens in between this.
Oh, yeah.
We're freaking out because we think Burt's gonna fucking die. You know, Jody's trying to get him out of there. And then the graboid comes up, does their thing, and in a split second, right before graboid comes, I think he throws the tape ball watch thing at the ass blaster as it's about to attack Burt Gummer. El Blanco comes up and fucking crushes the ass blaster like the goddamn hero it is. And then he just goes away for some reason. He just goes away.
I thought that too. He just fucks off.
Just fucks off.
It's the white whale you can't get.
Yeah, it's the white whale you cannot get. Of course, Burt makes a fun joke of like, can you please get me out of here? And then we wrap up the movie and we're going to get to the very end because it's very late. I'm very tired and very sleepy and I can't wait to go to Easter. So we're going to wrap this up. Happy Easter, by the way. We're recording this the day before Easter. What am I trying to say? We're back at perfection. We're at the end. We're back at perfection. The ass blaster is outside in this corral. Who, of course, Jody is like paying for people to like take a picture in front of it, which is hilarious. It's so funny. Jody, just being the awesome business person that she is, while Nancy and Mindy are getting a call. They're selling it off. They're selling it off to Siegfried and Roy.
I can't believe it.
And this is a great plot point that, like I said, comes back in the TV show, which is hilarious, which is so stupid. Oh, of course.
Yes, Mike. Yes, it does.
Yes, it does, and it's really funny. Mindy, of course, wants a car, but there's better plans for the money for this thing, which I won't spoil. That's something you should watch in the show. Jack and Jody sort of have a moment where they're sort of like, we're getting sort of the wrap up of their love story here, where, you know, they're talking about those goddamn clouds again and the big city living and what to do with their futures. And it's kind of sweet that they're having this little moment. Even if it doesn't end like the first movie, which was a big old kiss. This is just sort of them maybe just being friends, maybe being romantic leads. Who knows? You know, they don't go too heavy on it. And I think that's okay.
He doesn't deserve her.
No, Jody deserves all the love, to be totally honest with you. Absolutely. 100%.
I think he's too deep for him. I'm always like, come on, Jack.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's something.
Yeah, maybe instead of Jack, she dates what's his name in the TV show? Levi? Cody? What?
Tyler with W.
Tyler with W. That's right. We'll talk about that in a minute. So that wraps up everybody in perfection, except for, of course, Burt Gummer himself, who is playing with hello, Senor Blanco on a residual boulder. He, of course, has one of those awesome graboid monster trucks. And who pulls on up? Well, good old fucking Melvin again. This dickhead. Still trying to sell his wares and try to take over the valley. But you know what? Burt says, no, you can't. You know why? Because El Blanco is an endangered species and therefore cannot be hurt and contained. You can't build new ranchettes while this thing's here. You don't want to get anybody killed. So until that is dealt with, you can't touch this valley. So fucking awesome. I love it. It's so dumb. Of course, who comes up? El Blanco shows up, scares Melvin, leaves him on a boulder, which allows
just drives away.
Burt Gummer just fucking
drives
away.
It just ends there with Melvin on the rock.
Ends on the rock.
Perfect.
I don't blame Melvin sometimes. He should I get that he's a little turd, but man, he's a person too. Come on, man. Like,
I agree.
I agree. Does Melvin come back in the TV show? You're just gonna have to find out.
yeah. Nope. What's a TV show?
Yeah, what's a TV show? That is a good point. And that is the end of Tremors 3 Back to Perfection. Was it perfect? No. Did I have fun? Yes, I did. I had fun recapping with this, everybody.
So I think like my main criticism is of this film is mostly just the quality of it at the end of the day.
Sure.
Like the quality, like the film quality. Because like when we talked about Tremors 2, I feel like we were like kind of all surprised at like the actual quality of it. It's like, this seems like something that would have probably just been in a movie theater. And like, I guess that was the case, you know, like it was supposed to be a feature film like in theaters, and then it didn't end up being that.
Mm-hmm.
This one actually kind of feels like a straight to DVD movie, actually.
Yeah, I agree with you.
With its budgets, with its special effects and all that stuff. Like the beginning special effects are, even though like my connection to the internet was probably not great and made it even worse, it looked terrible. Like any CGI stuff looked not great. And not to say that any of the CGI stuff in Tremors 2 looked great, but like they had those moments in Tremors 2 where they had like
the pyramid shriekers was hilarious.
Like that, but also like the shrieker, like when they used the practical like shrieker stuff, like that looked awesome.
It looked awesome.
It looked great, and I don't think you really get a lot of that in this movie. And I wish, I guess, they took more advantage of using more practical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I understand maybe why they wouldn't have if they didn't have the budget to really do that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like,
no, you want it more, man. I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
That's basically my main criticism of it. I think otherwise, I think it's just, you know, they doubled down on the goofiness of Tremors, and I think it's like a fun movie, like overall. I didn't dislike any moment of it necessarily. I just don't think it's better than 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I do appreciate about this movie is that they do a good job of giving you back into Perfection Valley, even though this is the second time they've rebuilt this place. They built it for the first one. This is them rebuilding it in a totally different location. Am I correct in that, Levi?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is not California, somewhere else. For the TV show, they built it a third time somewhere completely different, and it definitely shows with the landscape. The landscape's totally different. But at the same time, it's just like, hey, it brought me back to a place. You know, I saw where Mindy's house was. I see Walter Chang's, market is, and it brought me back, right? And I know where Burt's, his house is.
Does Jody show up later on? Jody and Jack, do they show up later on in the series at all?
They are in the I'll tell you now. Jody is in the show, but not the same actress.
Okay.
They replaced. So this is the thing. This is where I'm gonna spoil just a little bit about the show. So they recast her. I think Levi led up to some contract disputes or something like that. Is that it?
It's just people were signed up for other things, and when you're like doing a commercial for one person, you're not allowed to like work for someone over here.
Got it.
And it's like they would have loved to, but they just couldn't.
Yeah, so they recast it with someone else, and varying degrees of do I like that person better than the other, I think is the best way to describe it. There's definitely, I think, a little different feel between the actors. They also, so Jack, for instance, he retires the tourist business. He fucks off real quick, and the first episode is actually the introduction to the new Desert Jack, who's played by a guy named Tyler, who is basically the stand-in for Desert Jack. And he clearly has like a shady past. I'm very interested to see how he goes. But he ends up being like the guy that Burt Gummer teams up with the most and gains more respect.
It's actually the combo. The Tyler and Burt combo is one of my favorite.
Yeah, I agree. I like that. Comparison to what we get later, this is actually absolutely one of my favorites. The other person that gets recast is Nancy. Also gets recast with another lady. And then I alluded to it, but Miguel, he dies obviously in this movie, but his niece is played by the white t-shirt lady in the TV show.
I looked up what the white T-shirt thing, and I just gotta just nod my head at that. I had to look it up.
Yeah.
I had to look up what you were looking at or what you were talking about. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, imagine 30 minutes of that, which is pretty crazy.
It's kind of sad that they just recast Jodie because I think Jodie is actually
Oh,
she is a very good part of the movie. Like she is like they could bring her back and it would be awesome. Like it
Yes.
would be
Yeah.
awesome to see her come back.
Yeah.
Like I liked her just as much as like Val and whatever. Like she's like an awesome character.
I agree.
And
she has agency. I love
Yeah.
that. Like
Yes.
I guess the one thing I didn't like was just like they kind of force a love thing between her and Jack and stuff.
Yes.
I'm not like super into that, but otherwise, like, and Jack's not like a bad character at the end of the day. Like, I don't mind him, but I don't think they had to force like a love thing with them. But Jodie's an awesome, like Jodie herself is like
Jodie is the
cool
standout character in this movie. 100%. You are absolutely correct.
not even just a standout character for this movie. I think she's a standout character for this series.
I agree.
Like she's a great character.
Oh yeah.
So
think about this: female Asian entrepreneur, like in a horror movie. That is something you don't see at all.
no,
Yeah.
who lives?
Yeah.
Who lives?
Who lives?
Who lives?
It's amazing.
Is awesome. No, 100%. And yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. Other than that, everyone else sort of just, they're back. That's just the coolest thing about it is that they're back. That's about it. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums up the plots or some of the threads that carry over. Like I said, the story of El Blanco being the dominant domain thing that's keeping the town afloat, that's still happening. That's how
like that the meditation on that whole idea is really like
yeah, it's kind of I think it's actually the fun part of the show, even though it's like oddly like people die a lot in the show and El Blanco kills quite a few people, and I'm like, at a certain point you would just not allow that to happen, right? That's my funny thing with the show.
I was really impressed by the TV show. They managed to bring a little standards back in a lot of ways too. So
yeah, like, and again, the thing I will respect the TV show and the fourth movie is that they maintain the look of the monsters from 3 movies. Like awesome designs all throughout. Once we get into the later halves, they decide to go a little crazy. But enough about that. I think we're going to move on to some of our other podcasts. I'm going to start with actually a little haiku in review. Levi, I requested if you could write us a haiku in review for Tremors. I think I said you could do the entire series, or if you want to do just this movie, but by all means, do you have it?
I'll go. I got one.
All right.
El Blanco goes low. Give me more of the shriekers. Ass blast your own ass.
Thank you.
That rocks. That's a
Thank you.
great one.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
I was really nervous.
You did it. I loved it. That's fantastic. Thank you. That, of course, concludes Haiku and Ryu. The only time we ever did this segment.
One haiku, yeah.
The one and only time.
The one and only time.
Congratulations, Levi. It's the best haiku.
Is the best haiku of this little small series that we did. So again, thank you so much for that. So we already ranked all the graboids, so that's all done. Was there any other ones? I think that wraps
I had a
up.
podcast.
What's your podcast in a podcast?
A podcast and a podcast. Pick a product with a podcast and a podcast.
Hold on. Levi,
I'm sorry.
do a little quieter because I think what is doing. You're going too loud, and so it like shows your voice. We can't hear you.
I got a podcast in a podcast for you to pitch a product.
Pitch a product.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
you mean like the ones that Jodie sells?
Yeah.
Oh.
I love graboids. And this is the one I pitch. I want a graboid body pillow.
That's a pretty great idea.
That is amazing. Yes, because we see a lot of products that Jodie has, right? Jodie has the hand puppet. She has the little statues, which I really want. She even complains about the statues in the movie that they have 4 tentacles when they really should have 3. Christian's lost it. Christian, what? Oh, no.
I'll do you one better.
Oh, no. I think I know.
We all know I'm a big fan of the Grabosi, right? A graboid flashlight. Just
They make one. They make one already. There's this bad dragon. I've seen it.
No fucking
one-
way. Hold on.
No way. Hold on. Hold on a second.
no, don't Google that.
I know what a
No,
bad
no.
dragon is.
Don't put that in your history.
Did you say a graboid fleshlight exists?
But you look at it, you're like,
Graboid
that's the one to stick your dick in there.
fleshlight.
Oh, I think I found it.
A graboid dildo. That was really what I thought you were
Oh,
reaching.
even better.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
We can-
I will not be
okay,
showing
okay.
this. I will not be showing
What
this.
did you Google?
Oh.
I just typed the bad
Wow.
dragon Tremors and I found something. Hold on.
That's where it's turning at the Twitter thing. You can do some weird things sometimes.
Oh my god.
Look at the lips on that thing.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
no.
Beautiful.
Well, this is the best way to end the show, of course, which is talking about the flashlights. I don't know if I could top that. I don't even know if I could top that.
Yeah, I don't need.
You know what? I'm gonna say a shrieker alarm bell. Why not? Just just get that at 7:00. You know, just to get a shrieker alarm bell.
An ass blaster lighter.
Ass blaster lighter.
That's in the TV show.
It is. Fuck
Oh my
me.
God.
No way.
Plot point of the
Oh,
TV
I'm
show.
so excited.
I have it written down. It's
I'm
one
so
hour.
excited. I'm so fucking excited now. God. There's only like 13 episodes. I haven't seen that yet. That's incredible. All right. Wow. This is incredible. Well,
The only thing I could think of is like if the people who own the Graboids IP or whatever did a collaboration with creepy crawlers or something. And then they had little creepy crawlers for the Graboids and for the Shriekers and whatever.
that'd be great. That'd be great. I honestly just give me a good, awesome like bust of like the Tremors and Graboids. Like that's what I'm saying. Like Graboids, like just an awesome like figure. Like I would love that.
I mean, we talked about it in the last one. Let's get one of those life-size freaking things that are like busting out of the wall.
yeah,
you know,
that's what I'm
That'd be
talking
so
about.
sick.
I got the product for you already. We discussed this.
That's right. I love it. And you know what I love? This podcast. This was a fun journey. I can't believe that we've gotten to the end. Of course, I want to thank everyone here watching in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Of course, everyone. El Bobco for the raid in the middle of the show. Nerd Today said, little kid Carlos would have killed for a Graboid creepy crawlers. Yes, we would. Yes, we would. I want to thank my lovely cast, starting with actually Brandon Jose Ruckus himself, who couldn't be here. He was attacked by snakes / graboids. I'm hoping him well, and eventually, you know, I would love to maybe talk to him privately about what he thought about this movie. But I want to thank ISO Cristian for joining us here as well. Go ahead and tell everyone where people can find you. And again, thank you for being a part of this ride.
Yeah, thank you, Mar. This is like tons of fun. Like I've never experienced anything Tremors before, so doing this as a group was a lot of fun.
Yes.
If you want to follow me, you can keep up with me over on Twitter at ISOChristian, tweeting about all the stuff I do, like my movie podcast, Large Popcorn, weekly gaming show podcast, PXN, the video essays I do for the Penultimate Conquest, as well as some freelance work for Tech Raptor. So
That's right.
Keep up there.
He does do that. And Mike, again, I feel like this was destined to happen, watching horror movies with you on a somewhat basis. So this just made sense. Mike, where can people find you? What are you up to?
You can find me on Twitter and basically every social media platform at the Michael J. Ruiz. I do a podcast.
Bantam Banner.
Bantam Banner. You could go to bantambanner.com. You could also check out On Point in Progress. You could check out the Model Citizen Show.
That's right.
We do that once a month. And I guess if you want to drink my beer, I work for Phase 3 in Illinois. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
Still gotta get some. Christian?
Yeah.
real quick, that video you posted of you bonelessing into a 50-50
Oh,
was fantastic.
thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I do a lot of my Instagram is full of me skateboarding. I love skateboarding. It's changed my life again.
That's that's awesome.
But yeah, and I just want to say thanks again for having me on this. I really enjoyed this as someone who's basically only watched the first Tremors once before this. I am inclined to watch more Tremors stuff. So
Go to 4 and then stop.
Levi is their favorite is 4, and I would have hey, we should do it one more time, but I honestly think the joke kind of needed to end at a certain point. I think 3 is a good stopping point.
3 is a good stopping point.
Do we?
If you ever
yeah.
Look, if you ever want to do Evil Dead, I'm just saying, I want to be part of that.
All right.
Army of Darkness, that's my jam.
That's all I'm saying. If you want to do Evil Dead,
there's a new Evil Dead movie coming out.
I'm very aware. I'm very aware.
All right, we'll talk later.
Okay.
We'll talk later. Oh, Frank could absolutely be part of it. Loves Evil Dead. Frank's been here the entire time. That's awesome. What up, Frank?
Yes, Frank.
I think he just heard Evil Dead and just popped up. So, Levi, tell us where we can find you. Again, thank you so much for visiting us, listening to us before we were even a thing. And again, just being awesome, giving us notes, telling us your fun stories. Very excited to see all the fun things that you're going to be doing. And we'll be deep diving, obviously, on your podcast. If you want to please go ahead and talk about it.
You can find me. I'm at Omegan Smiles everywhere. That's my handle. Or Levi Dylan Burzloff. But I've been doing the Talking Tremors podcast with the Tremors Saga people. So if you like Tremors in any kind of sense, actually, as much as I love Tremors, I try to make it a very human thing. We talk about a lot of things inside of it, so it's free-form podcast. If you're into doing right here, there's probably some more of it on Talking Tremors, and I'd love to have you guys on as guests and stuff. If you ever want to actually watch the TV show, watch an episode, I'll watch Tremors 4 with me. Either one of them, I'd love to. This is just yeah, no, I really mean it. This has just been fun. I love talking things. It's not even Tremors, but things that people love with everybody. And Mario loving this, and I can tell Cristian and Mike, you don't even know what the fuck is happening, but you're into it. And I'm
hell yeah.
There's levels of information, there's I have to fucking know.
Oh man.
I don't know what. There's something that happened here. These are all good flavors.
All good flavors, and I feel like we've only got 10% of those notes this podcast. Only about 10.
Oh, no, these notes were for me, to let me know that I didn't have to go in for that.
Of course. Again, thank you so much for being here. The arbiter, the backbone in terms of being like, yeah, this is something we should do. It's a lot of fun. Someone will enjoy this. And I think that's what made us keep going. So again, thank you very, very much.
Happy to help.
Yeah. Yes. So,
how about you, Mario? What do you do? Where do we find you?
Yeah, Mario. What do you do?
You find me everywhere, man. I'm honestly oversaturated. You can't fucking too much of me. Oversaturated. No, you can find me at Point in Progress, where of course I have the main podcast that we do over there. We are, it's been a fun process. We're obviously looking to evolve into our second year, so we're definitely going to be doing some fun things and hopefully some cool changes going forward. So please check us out over there at Point in Progress, which is our main. We talk about the things that we love and we think critically about them. So we talk about movies, video games, comic books, any fan fiction. We talked about fucking what was it? Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants for 10 minutes, and I died laughing. Oh my god, I can't wait till we clip this out. I'm gonna have my friend Shaka McPain make clips of it. It's gonna be fucking hilarious. But anyways, it's so good. I died. I literally died laughing at how funny. We were talking about sentient pants. I kept flashing an image of Jack Nicholson from the movie Wolf on the screen. It was so fucking funny.
Wait, hold on a second. You're talking about sentient pants, and you didn't even mention Jimmy Neutron at all.
I did not mention Jimmy Neutron. No, I'm so sorry.
What is wrong with them? What is wrong with these people? Oh my god.
Deep ass cut. Deep ass cut. So you can also find me at MC University, where I do, if you want me to talk more movies, I talk movies there. I talk about old Marvel movies, not the new ones, the old ones. And we have a blast over there with Sly, my wonderful co-host. I also am show running over there at the Tech Raptor, where I help bring on people now and they make them do awesome video content and help build up their reels, make sure they get paid for it. So very much Oh, there we go. Look at Frank talking about the goddamn pants. Okay.
I told you, dude.
Wonderful.
That aired when Tremors 3 aired.
Fuck yeah.
That was definitely 2000.
That was
That's
the.
2001.
I think that was the first episode of Jimmy Neutron. Was the sentient pants one.
God damn you nerds. Again, I want to thank you all. I love you all. I want to thank everybody here. And remember, grab on, grab off.
Grab on.
Goodbye, everybody.
Get your graboid dildo vibrators.
Oh.
Oh.